What is going on, everybody? It's your boy John, and welcome back to Gearbox. So today we have another video on the wonderful and magnificent Mk5 Toyota Supra. And of course, as most car enthusiasts do, we like to modify our cars. And there are a lot of different ways to do that, right? Whether we're talking aesthetic stuff, you know, front lip, aero, whatever. We've got performance, we've got turbos, downpipes, exhaust, you know, charge pipes, whatever. We've got brakes, we've got suspension. There's a whole host of things that we as car enthusiasts can do to our vehicles. Another very, very popular option is, of course, tuning. Now, as I'm sure a lot of us are aware, with the Mk5 Supra, there's a little bit of an issue when it comes to having a locked ECU. So what I want to do today is kind of dive deeper into that conversation, go through the different manufacturing dates and how you can actually find if you need a certain type of unlock. So without further ado, let's get right into it. So to be honest with you guys, right off the bat, even before I had the Supra, I knew that this idea of having a locked ECU was obviously a thing, right? It's never something you want to hear out of a specific type of platform, especially something so prestigious as the Toyota Supra. As you may or may not know, a lot of manufacturers with new cars are starting to lock their ECU. And to my understanding, the whole reason for that is, they don't want modifications to be done to their vehicles. They want to maintain the EPA stuff. They want to do everything right, which a lot of times right in the car community doesn't mean having fun. So it's a fun stopper. It's a lock on fun, the way I see it, at least. And BMW, Toyota is no different with the Mk5. Now, before I jump into it, I do want to just address it. The whole reason I have this knowledge on the topic at hand is, of course, the fact that I've been looking into it. And there may or may not be some foreshadowing here, which I'll let you ponder for the time being. And I would assume maybe next week we might have a video talking further about tuning a Supra. Do with that as you wish. Anyway, when the Mk5 Supra came out, of course, there's a lot of buzz around this vehicle. So many different, nostalgic thoughts and ideas with how to make this new Supra platform, a track monster or a show car beast or whatever, and just make it your own and enjoy the fifth iteration of the Toyota Supra. And of course, a lot of people end up going to the idea of tuning. So basically what it boils down to, if you are in a, let's call it first gen Mk5 Supra up to the date of June of 2020, so very, very early manufacturing dates of those cars, your ECU is tip-top shape. No issues. You go to whatever tuner, they plug right into it, and you're good. Why they didn't lock it to begin with, no idea. Honestly, I have no idea. I would maybe assume it has something to do with continuing R&D for the Supra platform in one way, shape, or form to be able to keep that to Toyota and let them do that. And they really realize that only a handful of people relative to the rest of the Supras out there are going to get their hands on one. So it's kind of no harm, no foul. That's my understanding of it. I have no idea, but regardless, beginning, inception of Supra to June of 2020, you're good. Now, after June of 2020, we have the second gen Mk5 Supra, or the kind of sort of locked ECU. So we've got, I guess, July 2020 to July 21. This type of lock, I guess you could call it, would be considered a bench unlock ECU. This could be easily determined, and I should have said this earlier, You can access the ECU or the DME, as BMW calls it, by if you open up the hood, you go, to the middle where the engine is, and you look to the right. As you're looking at the engine to the right, there's some plastic covering and stuff, of course, watertight and whatnot. That's where your ECU sits. You undo some tabs, unplug it, pull it out, and there's a manufacturing date right there, point blank period. Not a whole lot of speculation that can go into it once you have seen that date. Anyway, you have July 2020 to July 21. That's your bench unlock. To my understanding, and correct me if I'm wrong, but this is just my little pea-sized brain understanding the Mk5 Supra process, a bench unlock can be done by, let's call it, the vast majority of people from a tuning perspective. Now, do I know what sort of software or processes go into a bench unlock? No, I do not. But what I do know is that compared to the 3rd gen unlock, this is significantly easier. So if you are between those two dates, and of course excluding the people that don't need to unlock it, because whoop-de-doo, congratulations, consider yourself lucky. Like I said, I don't know who exactly can do it or what they need to do, but it sounds like any Joe Schmo tuner with the right software setup can unlock them, and then you can tune it to its full potential. So that is an added benefit. Now, if you are in a situation like moi, that has a September of 2021 manufacturing date, you're not really, but get ready to throw some cash at this car if you want to tune it. So like I said, anything July 21 and on, at least at this point, you're locked down hardcore, and legitimately the only way to tune your car is to take out that ECU and you put it maybe on some bubble wrap or something. You wrap up a box, tape it shut, put a shipping label on that thing, and you send that bastard all the way to Finland. Yes, Finland, of all places. We are shipping it out to a company called Femto. Femto, somehow, some way, once again, I don't know these things. All I know is it hurts me to see the amount of money that needs to be spent to do this. You ship it out to Femto, and they are the only people in the legitimate world that can unlock it. That could be false, but Femto is at a minimum the most popular option for post-July 21 manufacturing date Supras to be able to unlock the capability of tuning. Now, this is a serious pain in the ass, okay? Because I'm just gonna go ahead and tell y'all. I just went ahead and did this. I actually get my car back tomorrow, which I'm very, very excited for. I'm not gonna spoil anything else outside of that, but let's just say my car is very much ready to be tuned. It took about, I guess, 5 business days, which, to be honest, isn't as bad as I maybe would have originally thought with the turnaround time that Femto is able to offer, but it's still not an insignificant amount of time, right? Now, I am lucky enough to have multiple vehicles and, be able to drop the Supra off at the shop. They do everything for me and just voila, snap your fingers, it happens. But I also understand that some people aren't in that situation. And that's where this really becomes a problem. For me, I'm just like, oh, no big deal. Y'all keep it as long as you want. I've got the truck. I definitely want to get my car back, but I'm not going to rush it or anything like that. If that's your only car and your only real reliable form of transportation, this is going to be a very tough decision to make. And you might start thinking of, well, what if I just go standalone ECU? And what if I do this? What if I do that? Probably wouldn't argue for that one unless you plan on doing some absolutely bonkers shit with your car, because it's going to be more expensive and it's just a little overkill, to be honest with you. But it is absolutely a commitment. And if it's something you want to do, you're going to have to bite the bullet. There's no way around it. Now let's talk about kind of why I want to get my car tuned outside of more power, right? Really the big reason for me is the fact that, as you guys may or may not know, I put a important catted active AutoWorks downpipe on my Mk5 Supra. Absolutely love it. It's, you know, the tone and the volume and everything is right where it needs to be. And at this point, it is now paired with a MagnaFlow X Mod exhaust, which just sounds beautiful. The whole reason I bought the damn active AutoWorks catted downpipe was they claim no check engine lights. Well, y'all ever seen the movie Tommy Boy, where he's trying to sell all the brake pads and he goes up to the guy and he's like, but there's not a guarantee on the box. There needs to be a guarantee on the box. And Chris Farley says, well, sir, I can take a shit in a box and slap a guarantee on it, but all it is a guaranteed piece of shit. That's where I'm at. I do not think Active AutoWorks as a whole is a piece of shit. I think the idea of claiming no check engine light and getting a check engine light is a piece of shit. And I've reached out and I've done everything that you wonderful people have suggested in the comments. None of it works, so now we're just saying, let's go ahead and tune it. So that's the main reason, right, is to get rid of that check engine light. And a lot of you guys might be saying, well, John, you know the check engine light's for the downpipe and the O2 sensors and whatever. And you're right. What worries me is if another thing sparks a check engine light that's not related to the O2 sensor, and then I'm just driving around with a ticking time bomb, and I just don't know because I'm so immune and callous to the idea of having a check engine light. Call me OCD, you're probably right, but it just bugs the hell out of me. Now, of course, outside of that, we have the wonderful idea of gaining 100 horsepower with having a downpipe and a tune and all that sort of stuff. And that's great. But really, for me, it is having one, adding the longevity, two, the reliability aspect, and just overall kind of, it makes the car do what I want it to do. And there's a lot of other customizable things with how we're going to tune this car that will become a massive benefit to myself. So once again, as I kind of mentioned earlier, I'll just go ahead and let the cat out of the bag now. We have gone ahead and done a femto unlock of the Mk5 Supra. I'm very, very excited to get my car back and do what we are going to do with it. Nothing crazy, don't mean to oversell it by any stretch, but it's gonna be a new car for sure. I'm very excited to share that process with you guys as well. So anyway, guys, if you like this video, please give it a big fat thumbs up. If you have any questions or maybe something I missed, please drop them in the comment section down below. I know I probably oversimplified this conversation, but after doing the immense amount of research on what I need to do and what hoops I need to jump through to get this shit fixed, I honestly can't think about it anymore. It just drives me absolutely insane. But needless to say, if I did miss anything, let me know in the comments. And as always, guys, hit subscribe, hit the notification bell. You know the drill. Until next time, peace.